Let's break down today's news. First, the news about China's memory maker YMTC. Despite US restrictions limiting access to equipment and materials, YMTC is building new fabs and expanding NAND flash production.
This is the worst-case scenario for the side trying to stop them. You'd think sanctions would slow them down, but instead, it turns into find another route and get stronger. At this point, the side imposing restrictions is probably the one getting nervous.
Point 1. YMTC is expanding production with new fabs. Mass production is expected to begin in late 2026 in Wuhan, with multiple fabs targeting around 100,000 wafers per month. They aim to ramp up to around 50,000 wafers by 2027.
This is basically preparing to win by volume. In semiconductors, it's not just technology, it's about how much you can produce. Expanding fabs like this means they're playing the long game.
Point 2. Over 50% of equipment and materials are sourced domestically. After restrictions, YMTC strengthened partnerships with local suppliers, securing more than half of equipment and materials within China. This allows them to continue production despite sanctions.
This is the real problem. If we can't buy it, we build it. Once that loop works, they don't need external supply anymore. And at that point, you can't really stop them.
Point 3. Price competitiveness expands market share. YMTC has a 10 to 20% price advantage, reaching about 11.8% share in the NAND market in 2025. Domestic demand and subsidies also support growth.
This is the classic cheap and good enough strategy. You don't need to be the best. If you dominate the price-performance zone, you win. Just like smartphones, whoever captures the mass market takes the game.
Next, the Japanese stock market. The Nikkei surpassed 60,000, reaching a record high, driven by gains in US AI and semiconductor stocks.
This is basically, if you're in semiconductors, you win market. At this point, the index is almost just a semiconductor story.
Point 1. Semiconductor stocks are driving the market. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index rose for 18 consecutive sessions, while Advantest and Tokyo Electron hit record highs. Global momentum is flowing into Japan.
This is a full-on semiconductor rally. The gap between people riding it and people watching from the sidelines is getting brutal.
Point 2. Breaking 60,000 accelerates momentum. Crossing the psychological level triggered short covering and hedging, further pushing the market upward. Options markets also show stronger bullish expectations.
This is the classic everyone buys after it breaks. Logically, it's late, but people love round numbers, so they jump in anyway.
Point 3. Geopolitical easing supports sentiment. Expectations of easing tensions in the Middle East also improved investor sentiment, though concerns about overheating remain.
Some of this is just vibes. Feel safe, so buy. That kind of move usually ends with people getting shaken out later. But before that, it's just a game of how far it can go.
That's all for today. Hope you learned something.
Thanks for watching today's video. See you next time.